Well, out here today on this giant public land, it's all just super thick, nasty buckthorn like this. It makes shed hunting in here pretty unpredictable and very hard because it's literally hundreds of acres of this. It's all dry, so they can bed pretty much anywhere in here. And these deer don't really rub a whole lot in here. And there's quite a few deer in here, just judging by the sign. But I have been seeing some boot prints in here and some of the more obvious, like heavy trails. So I got off the heavy trails and I found a little shed right here. Right there. I saw this big cedar tree right here and I kind of just headed right towards the tree. I have noticed there's a few scattered cedars in this buckthorn crap. And they have been usually beds right underneath the cedars. And sometimes you find a bigger buckthorn, like a super big buckthorn, they'll be bedding right around that too. Probably just because the snow, there's just a little bit less snow underneath these trees in here. Very small shed. I found 2 sheds in here last year in April. That's why I wanted to come back and try and hit this a little bit earlier. But I mean, spots like this are super random. This shed probably would have been in here in April too, but awesome. At least I'm not going home empty-handed. Oh wow, that's pretty fresh. Got some blood on him still. That probably hasn't been down for too long. Just a really small little guy. Probably right in a deer bed right around here somewhere. Awesome. Well, Saturday morning, I was in here earlier, back in mid-February, when we just got a good thaw. A lot of snow started to melt. I did find one old one and one fresh one that day. I just camped on an old one out here in the cattails. This is the first time I've ever found a shed on this property in the cattails. I haven't found too many sheds in cattails anywhere really, so it's gonna be really hard to get this out. It's frozen pretty good, it looks like. Right there it is. Looks like a decent 2 or 3 year old buck, but yeah, that's way in there. Look at that. God darn it. Well, I did my best. You can see it's pretty, those tines are stuck way down in there. I'm gonna have to either come back today with something bigger to chip it out, or just come back sometime this week or next weekend. It's supposed to be in the 60s this week. I should be able to get it out then. Well, out here tonight on a small piece of private. I just got permission on this here. It's only right around 40 acres, but it's all this really good marsh winter bedding. I just came up on an old one here. I almost walked right past it. Just heading out kind of right now because it's, you know, only about a half-hour light left. And something caught my eye. It was all chewed up. That really white area where it's chewed is what caught my eye. Oh, look at that. It's got a split. That thing would have been awesome to find fresh. Not a giant, but at least a 3-year-old. Pretty nice. I'm gonna get some pictures here. That's cool. All right. Yeah. Too bad it's just, man, that would have been an awesome shed fresh. Really cool characteristics. That's probably been out here obviously 1 year, maybe even 2 years. It's lighter than what you think it would be too. So I don't know. Anyways, that's an awesome find right there. There's got to be some fresh ones in here, but I'm obviously not going to be able to walk it all tonight, but awesome. Well, I've been walking for the last 2 hours, seeing lots of really good sign. I just came up on an old one here, but I cannot believe I haven't found anything fresh in here. This is the same property where I found that old one back on Monday night. So obviously it's not being shed hunted, but I just can't believe there's nothing fresh in here. I mean, I covered it pretty good. It's not a huge area, but This is a pretty nice young buck right here. Just kind of working my way back right now. And it's right there in the grass, buried. Oh, that's got a fork to it as well, I think. I gotta get some pictures. That's pretty cool. That's old. Okay, here we go. Man, that is an old shed. That is so cool. Look at how like cracked up it is, and it's like really chalky feeling. Man, I wonder how long that is, how old. But that's pretty darn cool. Two forked sheds on the same property. Obviously the genetics are here. Wow, that is so cool. All right, so I just came up on the first shed of the day so far. I've been walking for quite a while, a couple hours, and this is all I found, just a little tiny spike. I'm on my dad's uncle's place. This is where I was last weekend. I was over that way more, where I found 7 in one day. Like I was saying, this side of the property, usually I do not find as much for some reason. This is good during the rut, but I just don't think the bucks are bedding in here like they are over there. Right there, kind of a minor deer trail. You know what? That looks old. Yeah, that's, you can see it's got all the shoe marks from probably coyotes. But that base being dark like that and pretty sun faded. It's probably been moved around by coyotes for the last year. I don't know. No wax ring on it or nothing. That's probably a year old. I did have quite a few little guys like that in here this year, so that's why I kind of thought it was fresh, but that's probably old. Anyways, not feeling super confident in here. Maybe I can get one more before the day's over. Well, just came up on an old shed here. Surprisingly, I must have missed this. I'm in that swamp just next to the grass. I knew there'd be something in here, but I was hoping it'd be fresh. Right there. And with it being overcast like this and rainy, I saw this from literally probably 20 yards away. They're usually always easier to see when their tine's down. That's a couple of years old probably. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely probably more than a year. Maybe just 1 year, I don't know. Probably at least, that's probably honestly a 2-year-old buck too. That's sad to say. It could be a really, like one of the nicest 1-year-olds I've ever seen on this property, but like I was saying, you saw that last shed I found. That thing was about this long. So this could be a small 2-year-old that was like a small spike his first year or something. That's pretty pathetic if it is a 2-year-old, but anyways, got 2 on the day. Maybe I could find another one. I don't know, we'll see. Sweet. Yeah, that's a decent buck right there. Still holding both sides. It's like March 19th today. Those are honestly probably all bucks. I'm gonna try and follow them over the hill. All right, so last Saturday, not this past, it's Wednesday today, so a week and a half ago, I found a shed out here in these cattails, and it's an old one laying tines down, and it was so cold, and everything was froze up. I couldn't get it out. I chipped away at it, and still, it's so buried. Right here, a week and a half ago, I was chipping around this mud, and I just had to come back when it was thawed out. You can see it's gonna come right out. Wow, not at all what I was expecting. Are you kidding me? I probably could have got that out. It was laying just like that. I figured it would have had points like 6 to 8 inches into the ground. That is super wild, super goofy. Wow. And believe it or not, I think I know which buck this is. This is the property just maybe a half a mile from my grandparents' farm, just across the road here. I know there was 2 really big bucks in here holding into March. And this, I recognize this buck. This would be, I believe, a year old. There was a buck that showed up in our food plots last year in the wintertime, just one night, maybe 1 or 2 nights in early January, and he was all beat up like this. I think he was a 4-point side with both busted. This is only a 3-point side, as you can tell. This could be a 2-year-old shed, honestly, but I believe this is that deer. But I'm not 100% sure. I was just expecting it to have tines, not all beam. Anyways, that's a cool shed. Too bad it's not fresh. That'd have been really cool. Awesome. I'm gonna keep walking. I just got out here after work, so I figured I'll come pick this up right away and maybe I can find another one.